Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome, Alec Jaffe, to the show from Alec's Ice Cream. Alec, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. I just finished watching your 2009 Laguna Beach High School Running Back highlights. So I'm
Fired up, ready to
I'm
go.
fired up. I'm ready for the interview. I went down the rabbit hole. Fabulous as the highlight theme song, which those I played college football too. And those who don't know, picking the song for your highlight reel in like 2008, 2009, that was a big deal.
Oh yeah, that was everything. That was that wasn't something you just did willy nilly. You had to be really considered on which song you picked.
Yeah, yep. And like, how are you going to get that song? Definitely legally. We all definitely got our music legally.
Hundred
It was
percent got the
it
streaming
was
rights and
licensed.
everything. Yeah,
And when we put that up on YouTube, we definitely checked the copyright box and knew what we were doing. Yeah.
hmm
No, I went through that and I was laughing because I was like, I have all the same stuff, right? And I go, oh, okay. I
yeah.
remember that time frame vividly, trying to pick the song and end up spending 2 days to pick an Eminem song because only one I could download. Um,
Right.
cool. All right, man. Well, I want to talk today. I want to hear your story. Going from college, you end up going to JUCO, but then you go to USC and then study business there. Walk me through kind of your journey then to saying, okay, I'm gonna like ice cream. How did this all come to be? Walk me through that journey.
Yeah, the college football player to ice cream maker is the classic path that everyone follows. So I have been making ice cream since I was a little kid. Taught myself how to make ice cream in elementary school for a class project. Also grew up around family members very involved in sustainable agriculture and food systems. And so fast forward to after college, I'm working in tech at a startup. The startup's winding down and thinking about what I want to do next with my life. And just felt like there wasn't an ice cream company that was making amazing ice cream and also talking about sustainability. I felt like, why doesn't that exist? You see that in every other category in the grocery store. There's products that are better for the planet, are better for you, and they taste amazing too. And ice cream really hadn't gone there yet. And so I just started making ice cream at home, friends and family. One thing led to another. It seemed like this could be a good idea to start a business. And yeah, that
I
led
love it.
me to here.
I think too that's that age and everything where it's like I don't know how much this like has impacted you, but it's definitely impacted me with playing sport where I'm like, oh, see it, make a game plan, do it. I'm gonna action. Like I just have to action. I gotta go. I'll figure it out. If I mess up, I can correct. Was there a lot of that, like almost a like cattle prod, so to speak, in your back? I kind of feel that sometimes. I'm like, all right, just go, make a decision. Did that kind of that mentality, I guess, from football cross over into building the business?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gives you this mentality of like, oh, I can do it. If I set my mind to it, set a plan up and put the work in, I'll accomplish it and get it done. And it gives you this sense of urgency to just want to go. And so I think that was definitely a big part of what pushed me to do something as crazy as this. Yeah, I think that urgency is both a good and a bad thing. You really have to work on being patient and understanding that this takes time, and it's not like a sports game where there's a clear winner and loser, like you either did good or you did bad. There's so much more gray area in it. But it has been very interesting seeing how my experiences as an athlete have transferred over to now my business life.
Yeah, it's wild, right? If you go back and think like, oh, how much can be done that like seeing maybe how like if somebody comes in as a freshman and then in 4 years later they're an absolute tank and you're like, oh yeah, they went to the gym every day and they were crazy. And it's like, oh yeah, that if you do that in my business and if I go in and put the work in every day, I might come out 4 years later in a better position. I definitely kind of take that mindset. And then two, I'm with you on the am I being decisive or impulsive and trying to kind of have that counterweight to really make sure that I'm being methodical, right? Because that's something that's so easy to get impatient and then maybe slip up or do something. But it's not, like you said, it's not a game. It's not like, oh, we just reset next week. Now we're
Right.
playing with, we have people's livelihoods, we have staff, we have vendors, we have to pay so many different factors that go in that it's no longer a game, right? It's like that heightened level. So talk to me a little bit about that now and like where the company is. So you started it, you said, okay, I'm going to do this sustainable ice cream. Give us kind of the current status of the business and
Mhm.
where you guys are located and retailers, etc. And then I think that'll give a good kind of view for the listener or viewer.
Yeah, so we're based in Petaluma, California, in Sonoma County. One thing that's really unique about us is we actually have our own ice cream factory where we make the ice cream ourselves. We are the first certified regenerative organic and A2 dairy ice cream. So, what that means is we are using regenerative organic ingredients that are better for the planet, also gut friendly A2 dairy, so that for people with dairy sensitivities can often enjoy our ice cream comfortably. And it's a super premium, indulgent, delicious ice cream. We just launched in Sprouts and natural grocers and are found in natural retailers across the country and have some more big launches planned for this year as well.
I love it. Definitely, we don't get too many people on the show who go the route of their own manufacturing. So, which I love that you went that way. But I have a couple questions about one
Mm,
for someone who's listening. They're going to start a company or they have how capital intensive. If you can talk, give me like a specific
sure.
number. But was that like when you looked at it and said, okay, like what are we talking to get your own manufacturing up and running from a starting point? And did you have to take a big gulp of water after you saw that number?
Yeah, we were so our situation is very unique and very lucky in that we found an already installed ice cream factory shut down and available for sale from an ice cream company that was closing down and trying to sell off all their assets. So, and the factory was small enough for a startup, but big enough to scale. It was a very, very unique situation. You're not going to find that too often. And ice cream is also particularly just intensive as far as the amount of equipment that you need because you need to have a dairy processing line to make the ice cream mix, and that requires pasteurizer, homogenizer, different pieces of equipment. And then you have the whole packing side of the line where you're actually turning that fluid dairy mixture into flavored ice cream and packed and frozen and all that. So there's quite a bit of equipment involved. I know the company that was in there before us had spent, I think, a couple $1 million building it out, and we didn't spend nearly as much on that moving in. So, it can range and it really depends on how much you're trying to do. But I would say at least a few 100,000 in equipment if you're looking at doing something where you're maybe leasing a partial space and putting in a few pieces of equipment, but always save money for repairs too. That
Yeah.
equipment's going to break way sooner than you think it will.
That's just a rule for business. Like something's gonna go left. I'm always just like I'm at this point now where I'm like add 30% to any cost that we get.
Mhm.
I get a projection. I'm like, yeah, okay, 30% is like my new minimum of that's where we're gonna start. I loved it. You went with your own manufacturing. You found that's an amazing coincidence or the
Yep.
opportunity to just find that exact kind of outfitted place. But now you're there and you have a lot of CPG founders and companies, they have the co-packer and they're kind of like, oh, the shipping and everyone's gets done by somebody else, I don't really got to worry about it, I go check on them. But now you have these different facets of the business from a sales distribution standpoint. You could lead the team, set the vision, all of that. You have manufacturing, you also have fundraising. One, how do you split your time amongst
Mhm.
those? And then two, are you using any entrepreneurial operating system or any kind of like thing along those lines that you've leaned into and really adopted as an org?
Yeah, I mean, my time because we're in fundraising mode right now, and I feel like as a founder, when you're CEO founder, when you're in fundraising mode, it just feels like dominates all of your time. But I would say that honestly, a lot of my time is dealing with operations and manufacturing, and just we have a team in the plant who is handling everything, but just it does take up a pretty good bit of time. It's not just putting in a PO to a co-packer and making sure that they get it done. And then there's I'd say probably like 60% on operations and all the business stuff, and then 40% on sales, and then fundraising just kind of completely throws that whole equation out the window, messes everything up. Yeah, as far as company wise, we've actually started to do the the EOS system. That's been helpful, just helping to set kind of a cadence on how we meet as a team, and I feel like has been pretty useful.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, if you're at that stage and you feel like you're, doing a million things, that definitely look up one of like the EOS or Clockwork
Hmm.
or something that just at least gives you the guardrails and framework to go, okay, this is how I think I should be spending my time and delegating and meeting and setting expectations. Next, I want to talk a little bit about, I know you said that you're going to be expanding to a lot more retail
Hmm.
locations and going from 500 to 1,500 or so.
Yep.
Now, in that, right, on the surface, it's like, well, one, that's amazing. But now I always feel like, okay, now there's the next part of that is like ensuring velocity and repeat POs, right?
Hmm.
How do you, I guess, deal with the stress or make the decision to go, okay, yeah, we're expanding at the right rate, or what data, or is it just data? Is it having the right team, right partners? Like, walk me through a little bit of that decision making. And I only say that because I've seen both ways where somebody did like a nationwide rollout of Walmart and couldn't move any units.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, we've burned the Walmart bridge now.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just intrigued on that, how you handle that.
Yeah, I think the first piece of it is retailer fit and expanding with the right retail partners to where you feel like, okay, this is a store and a shopper base that fits my product. And for us, that's within the natural channel. And so we're being really focused on growing within natural retail before we start to expand into conventional channels. I think sometimes there's a feeling of, oh, I need to get into conventional right away, or I want to get into Target or Walmart or whatever it may be, because there's a ton of stores there. And so it's, you start doing the math and you're like, okay, if I could get into all the thousands of these stores and I sell however many units a week, that's going to equal X amount of revenue, and that's going to be great for the business. And it is great for the business if you can accomplish that. But I think there's a lot of value in being patient, building that following somewhat organically by cadencing your distribution and your channel fit. And so, that's kind of how we're thinking about it. And then making sure you have both budgeting for trade spend, because you're going to need to do promotions and things like that. I mean, especially for us in a category like ice cream is a very promotion heavy category. It's just a requirement to do to have like a pretty serious trade budget. And then, doing whatever other programs you need to do to support those retail placements. And it adds up quick.
Yeah. And where do you all fit DTC, as a priority? I've seen some companies where they're like, yeah, we have it. It's 10% of our revenue line. And other companies where we're like, are all in on it. Yeah, I got my opinions on DTC, but
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear kind of where y'all have slotted that with regards to a growth channel, both on the site and do you shop or can people order through Amazon or no?
Not yet. We just do DTC through our website. It's not a huge priority for us. Shipping ice cream is very expensive and very difficult, and there's a lot of spoilage and failed deliveries. And, just because with ice cream, it's such a temperature sensitive product that if there are any shipping delays, which over the past few years, there have been quite a few shipping delays and disruptions to the whole delivery system through the pandemic and everything. So, it's something that we do. It's more expensive to order on our website than what you would find in store, just because we have to deal with dry ice and the cooler, and just there's a lot of handling that goes into shipping ice cream. So we have it. If you want to go to the website and order, I'd love for you to do so. But I'd much rather someone go into a store and pick up sometimes than order from the website.
I'm a big believer that certain products have a great DTC opportunity. Other products where they're part of the family grocery shop, kind of, I'm like, okay, if that's just part of the thing I'm buying every 2 weeks when I go to, you know, the grocery store. All right, I'm not going to go then home and go to a different website to order something. I also think about the creation of a super fan and your cost to get somebody to try something through DTC and then they might not like it or they might. And then you look at what's your cost to acquire there versus sampling outside of, I don't know, Dodger Stadium on a hot day. And your cost might go way down, but people are trying it and you might get 4 or 5 super fans out of the, 200 you try it or whatever.
Right.
So it's always interesting to kind of weigh those because I feel like 2.5, 3 years ago, there was the DTC competition within, CPG and everybody was just like ego was fueling so much to be like, we have to grow that channel, we have to grow that channel. But really, that those tried, tested, and true methods through, on premise retail are the real growth levers. you know?
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I like to say that we're like a pretty old school and almost boring company from a strategy standpoint and tactics and things that we're doing. I mean, we're trying to be as innovative as possible within those tactics, but like at their core of what they are, they're all stuff that people have been doing for a long time, but it works. And especially when you're selling in a retail environment, these things work.
Oh yeah, it's like that point now. Let's say you're going to use an influencer or something. Is like I would pay an influencer to be like, I want you to walk into that retailer and just show yourself buying it at the retailer. Like, give people that experience.
Right.
Don't just show me making a sundae or something in your kitchen. Yeah, 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 that's cool. But like, let's go show people
Hmm.
where it is on the shelf so that it cues maybe next time they're there or when they're on the way there. You know, they're able to
Yeah.
that video. I'm going to get that today.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's awesome. Y'all are going through pretty exciting, pretty big growth phase. I think there's something there to say a takeaway that kind of ties back into football, but like the fundamentals are like 80-90% of it. And if you do the
Hmm.
boring, quote unquote boring things, but just do the fundamentals really well, then you can sprinkle on all the other stuff around it. But really
Exactly.
executing on the big stuff and the big wins, will be the things that push the company forward.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, do the little things right, and the rest of the stuff will typically work itself out.
Awesome. Alec, thank you so much for your time today. For anybody who wants to learn more about Alex Ice Cream or connect with you online, where should they head?
I would say, head to on social. We're always at Alex Ice Cream. Check us out there. Check us out on our website, alexicecream.com. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Beautiful. I will put links to both of those in the show notes page so you can go get yourself some ice cream and favorite flavor.
Ooh, I mean, we just came out with a new one, peanut butter fudge honeycomb. It's at Sprouts. Check it out. It's pretty great.
And then my last question is, how do you stop yourself from eating ice cream every day? I would be. We had a guy from Wingstop on,
Oh
and
yeah.
he's like, his wife had to limit his Wingstop. I'm very. I mean, that's the last question on this one. Is how? Yeah. How do you not have it every day, or do you?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I eat a fair bit. I eat a fair amount of ice cream, I would say. I think to not to turn your fun question into like a more serious answer, but I think there's a big thing to be said around and like why we designed the product the way we did is like I believe in mindful eating and indulgence, and you should be able to have a great treat, snack, dessert, whatever it may be, but feel satiated by it and feel like, okay, I got my fill and I'm good to go throughout my day. And so that's something that, we want people to eat our ice cream and then still feel like they got, their craving and feel amazing afterwards. So, I eat a little bit, but, just enough.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it, Alec. Thanks a ton for coming on the show today, man.